unique. First of all, because of the terrible lighting, right? So I could do this. Then you just get a look at you don't even get a look at my face. And if it gets here, then it gets somewhat dark. So I'm probably just going to disable the video piece. Or what we can do is let's just may as well just start sharing the screen. But what screen should I start sharing? Well, let me just update you on a couple of things that's going. First of all, I am I have a sweat in this tennis slate from yesterday. It postponed until today, and I need this guy who's losing team to come back and win. It's really not looking good. This guy Lecheka is extremely solid, and right from the beginning, you just kind of knew that you're on the wrong end. Every single time that we're serving, we're just really fighting to stay alive. And every time the other guy serves, he wins at love. So in this set, we actually got a break, and then the guy broke right back. So it's going to be tough. I mean, first we got to survive this set somehow, and then win the next one. I've been kind of doing some hedging along the way because it's a full $10,000 takedown if I get this done, which I'm not going to. Let's just watch maybe 1 point from this if you guys can barely even see it. We have to win this game first, but we do have to get a break eventually. So we'll come back to this. So the other thing I want to talk about, the the main MLB slate, and it's a three game slate. Just made a double fault, which is just a disaster. It's a full 1 point loss. And when I need to get 63 points out of him, and now that I have to do it in 3 sets, it's actually not even a lock that he gets there if he wins. So every one of these -1s for double faults are just kind of disasters. But what I do like to do sometimes is kind of hedge along the way here. So here it's 30 all, for example. And if I wanted to, I can go into the game markets and we could bet 100 or 50 or something like that on Lecheka against getting 2-1 to get the break. So if he loses, that's fine too. And again, this is one of the things I'm going to work on one of these days is how to efficiently do that. So this was, by the way, this was what I was talking about here. So this is this tennis slate. This is the tennis match I'm looking at. And I'm kind of watching this. So what we're going to do is 2 things. We have 3 things. We're going to be doing this. I'm going to have my eye on this tennis thing. And if it gets to a 3rd set, maybe we'll look a little bit, or if we get to some drama in the 2nd set. But I'm going to go over the main slate, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have some fun. We're going to do a lineup build for the Tigers game. The Tigers and the Angels are playing Showdown slate, and we will, we'll use SaberSim and run some builds for it. I mean, why not? I mean, there's not a lot else going on. So let's just make sure that we get this. All right, so we got the game, or we call that a fault. That's a fault. So let's just make sure the team gets this game to get to 5-4, and then we'll sweat as it gets later on. I'll come back and forth to that. But first, let's take a look at the main slate here. Let's take a look at this. I guess the first thing I want to look at is the weather, but I don't think there should be any weather issues here. I mean, I see a little cloud there, so let's. If you guys want to know what I actually do, I'm going to go to Roto Grinders, and I got to share a different tab. Sorry, hold on. I got to go back and forth with the tab sharing. I apologize. First, let me just look at this. The Mets weather looks fine. Let me just see. Okay, so we got the win here. It's 5-4 team, so he's going to need to get a break. But in any case, let's go to the lineup page for the late slate, the main slate. So I'm going to go over the projections, but when you eyeball it, it looks like one of those slates where everybody's in play, right? I mean, it doesn't seem as though there's any standouts without looking at the actual projections, and we'll get to it, But I mean, Cease looks reasonable enough at 8K. Senga, I mean, all these guys are pretty reasonably priced. I mean, Josiah Gray is 6,600 as the lowest price guy, and he always has some upside. Mikolas at 6,800 is really cheap, but he doesn't have that much upside. So, and then you have BB, who looks to be, pretty inexpensive. Steele at 8,600. I mean, like I said, I mean, this is a sort of a fun slate because you could really justify any of the six pitchers. And likewise, I don't really feel as though there's any real lock spot as far as hitting goes. I mean, without looking at the projections, I mean, what would what instinctively would even look good here? The Mets, I guess, against Josiah Gray. I guess maybe the Cubs against Mikolas, I suppose. But aside from that, maybe St. Louis against Steele, perhaps. But aside from that, I don't know what even instinctively looks like I would want to play. So what I want to do is I want to go to the sheets now and see what it looks like, and it is pretty raw. So the first thing I like to do is just kind of look overall at what it looks like, and then we'll look at the stacks and where it pans out. So first thing you'll see is that we actually have BB and Senga rated pretty significantly higher than these others. You have them with a sheets value score of 37 and 34. Then you have a drop to Cease of 28, and then a big drop to Mikolas, Gray, and Steele. And you look at the ownership, and the ownership kind of bear that out as well. They have Senga as the the 56% owned guy, and BB is the 45% owned guy. Now, nobody's going to be really low owned. And then you have Cease at 45%. So you have all three of these guys, they rated the highest, and they're going to be the highest owned. Now, again, this is going to be one of those slates where, you could either just go with the projections and eat the the high owned guys, or just have a little bit of reality check here and say, okay, I know that those three are a little bit better, or maybe a decent amount better, but do you want to take a shot maybe with sort of lower owned Justin Steele at 22%, a much lower owned Mikolas at 14%, or as somebody was mentioning in the Discord, or what's wrong with Josiah Gray if he's really only going to be 11%. Now, again, I did the wrong thing again. I have to crap. Every time I share something new, I have to somehow share it. Let's see how to do that. 1 second. So I guess we have to do this. We'll stop screen sharing, and then we will share again. Doesn't seem like what. Let's see. Is this thing? No. It's we can do the entire screen. Okay, we can do that. Wait. So entire screen. Can you do that? No. Entire screen. Boom. All right, excellent. So we can share the whole screen. Now I guess we're in business. I imagine this is working. So if we're sharing the whole screen, there's the golf, and then there's PGA, and then this is the projections. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see this. And worst case, I'm just talking through it. So again, so you see like BB, Senga, and Cease like rated kind of close to each other, and they're the highest owned. But why not? I mean, I don't know about the Mikolas play, but maybe you're right, Rich. Maybe the Josiah Gray at low ownership makes sense, because I know that the Mets are going to probably rate to be the best stack. So if you get kind of a high upside pitcher at a cheap price who's low owned, you get triple leverage against the high owned stack. Maybe that is something to do. Okay, let's check in on La Checa here. Like, so it's 5-5. We can't get a break, and then once again, like I said, we're just kind of struggling to get in there. Now we do have a pretty decent size win bet on Lecheka that I did before this match started at minus 145, which which gets me, obviously doesn't get me 10K, right? Which is what uh, whatever, but it gets me a little bit back, which isn't bad. But Lecheka is definitely much more solid, and I really doubt that team could pull this off. All right, let's take a look at the sheets for the. Oh, now we have this again. All right, so let's take a look at the sheets for the hitting. So as I mentioned, for the hitting, if you rate these guys, well, first by, and for those of you that don't know what I'm doing, and that's for another time. I'm rating these by my different ways of looking at this. The Mets look like kind of the top overall value, then St. Louis, Cleveland, and Chicago. I mean, it's a really, really big drop to the White Sox in Washington as far as value goes. And yes, they are going to be a little bit lower owned as a result. Now, when you look at them for just kind of raw points, it's very similar. You have Mets, Cleveland, and St. Louis really rate, above them, and they're being owned as a result. So the question you have to ask is it worth, taking a little bit less of it in projection for a significant ownership break for both the White Sox, for example, and the Washington? And listen, we're going to run a Saber Sim build to see what we get. But instinctively, I think it's a really lousy slate to play the chalk. I don't think that like any of these chalk plays are that great, and I don't think any of these stacks are that great either. So, and again, this is just kind of like my instinct on this, but I think this is excuse me, this is exactly the type of slate where, oh, here it is now. Now Lecheka is about to put the hammer on him. Lecheka with 2 break points, 40-15. That's going to be. Oh, we already got the break, so this is over. So this is over. Yeah, he was just too good. He was just too solid. He's going to serve this out right now. Oh wait, yeah, he's going to serve this out right now, and that's probably going to do it. Let's just see. We have a challenge here. Hold on a minute. That was definitely out. Okay, we will come back to it though. So let's take a look. Let's build some lineups using Saber Sim, and let's just see what we would get if we just kind of played it straight here. Let's go to the main slate, and then we'll upload the true DFS projections, and then we'll just run some stuff. I'm telling you, I really feel as though this is a slate where the chalk is going to be. It's not the chalk is bad. I just think that the chalk is not great. It's not that much better than the non-chalk. So let's take a look and let's just build. I don't know. Let's just say 50 lineups, and we're not going to play 50 lineups, but let's just say maybe we will. Let's just see what we get. All right. So when we just do nothing and make no adjustments, we're getting, all right, first of all, yeah, Tanner BB. And look at that. And pretty much all of the Washington. Oh, we like this. See, this is exactly what I was hoping for. And not only that, but a good amount of Josiah Gray. So it looks as though the SaberSim algorithm is starting to agree with me I mean, if you look at it, it's giving me 75% Washington, which might be the lowest owned stack on the board. Um, so that's extremely fortunate. I might just go with that. I think that's a great idea. And then when you go into the pitchers, I don't really care too much as long as I'm getting the. But look at it, I'm getting exactly what I thought, what I would want to get, which would be, yes, I'm getting the top guy in BB, but just basically fading these other ones and playing Josiah Gray and Miles Mikolas a decent amount. So I really, that's really interesting when your instinct like that is kind of supported by something that doesn't always happen on SaberSim. SaberSim doesn't give you 75% of the lowest owned stack like very often. So I'd be inclined to listen honestly and just kind of roll with this. We're gonna download these just to save them. But obviously, we're going to do this again. We'll do this again later. But in the absence of anything changing, I think that's probably what I'm going to end up doing is doing something very off the board and just take the lowest owned stack because I don't think there's much of a difference, between them. Let's take a look at FanDuel. And when I first looked at the FanDuel sheets, they looked at pretty much. I'll just check here for questions. All right, none, good. Let's just make sure I lost the Lechek. I'm sure that's pretty much over. Oh my God, it's 30 all. He's like actually fighting. Let's see. Ooh, it's coming to the net. Nah, he passed him. So Lechek has a match point, serving for the match. Lechek is not happy about this. Let's see. I want to see the replay of this. Oh, he just missed the volley. It's your own fault, bro. All right, so he's going to serve this out. We'll watch this. The end of the dream of the solo takedown is about to happen. Lecheka winds, and that should do it. Nope. Gets a second serve. All right. Got a shot. All right, Tyne, just you want to hang in there for another couple points? Let's see. Did he really double fault? Oh my God, he actually double faulted at match point. So we got to keep watching, huh? All right. We'll keep watching this. Then we'll come back and do FanDuel, and then we will do the Tigers showdown slate. All right, so let's see. Lecheka, I think that's his first double fault of the match on match point. Is that real? And now there's another fault. So second serve. Let's see what we can do here. Any chance? You guys probably have an incredible delay. And guys coming to the net. Oh, wow. We have a break point. Is that real? Oh, yeah. Am I going to actually have to sweat this? All right. So maybe what I think I want to do in game markets. Let's play team to win this game. From break point down. So either result's fine. But here we go. So break point, first serve. Is that an ace? Ace. So we just made a good bet, at least, to win the game. Because now, if you looked at his game line, he's probably like minus 500. Yep, there it is. So you already got a little bit of Sklansky bucks there. Betting him to win the game when he was minus 110. Now he's minus 500. So let's just see. It's like the ultimate torture, though. Oh, we fought off the first serve with volley pretty. Oh, it's out. All right, so another match point. It looks like we listen. We scrapped a couple of hundred from betting from these hedges, and we got back like I think 1,000 from the overall win bet on Lecheka, which is nice. Obviously, we prefer the other result where we take the whole 10K down, but it is what it is. All right, there it is. Should be it. Is that in? Yep, that will do it. Okay, so no more of that. So let's go back to SaberSim, and we'll do. Make sure there's no questions. No good. So let's go back and we'll do a FanDuel build, and we're going to use once again the FanDuel, the True DFS sheets, which Again, they're not obviously final yet, but it's what we have as of now. And we'll just see again what type of builds we get, and whether we are like likewise um contrarian at FanDuel, because DraftKings, for those you're just stepping in, we did a DraftKings build, and it was pretty much all unchalk. It was pretty much going all the Washington, like Mikolas, Josiah Gray, along with Tanner Beebe. So let's just take a look and see. So on the other hand, wow, on FanDuel, we get no Washington, and basically all the Cubs. I mean, because look how cheap they are, I suppose. Let's just take a look as far as stack types. Four, a lot of 4-4s. Team stacks about 80% Cubs and some Washington, but not much. So this is a very interesting build, very interesting not build, kind of like a portfolio of builds. And I talked about this a little bit yesterday with Bobby, the idea of thinking about your entries not slate by slate and not site by site, but by a portfolio of entries. That you consider not so much, well, not so much, but consider not only the exposures you have on each site, but also the exposure you have in total money. Now, again, the salaries are different, and the construction is different. But I think that if you, as long as you're not hedging for the sake of hedging, right? I mean, all I did was ran lineups on DraftKings and ran them on FanDuel. If it turns out that DraftKings I'm on one side and FanDuel I'm on the other side, I think that's healthy. You know what I mean? So I'm probably going to end up doing a portfolio kind of like this. Is on the one hand with a lot of unchalk on DraftKings and a lot of chalk on FanDuel, and have that negative correlation kind of work to my favor. Okay. So, okay, we are going to save this just to, there's one thing we didn't do. I didn't check the character of the lineups on DraftKings. But before I do that, let me just save this just so I have it. I could put it this right here, FanDuel name. And then what I want to do is I want to go back to the DraftKings build, because I didn't check out the character of the lineups. I didn't see if they were stacks or anything like that. Let's just see. What was it, 12:14 p.m.? Yeah. So stack types, yeah, a good amount of 5-2 and 5-3s. So pretty pure Washington, it looks like. Can they get to Senga? I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Yeah. So that's the deal with the main slate. I have to do one thing, and then I'm going to do the draft, whatchamacallit, the showdown slate. I mean, it could be fun. Hold on, I gotta handle something real quick. Offline. So let's go do this. Let's go to the showdown slate, and we're just going to we're not going to go to the trouble making huge sheets with like all the different projection models and all this stuff. We're just gonna take the SaberSim projections, because listen, as little as MLB projections mean in general, and as little as showdown projections mean for all sports in general, the idea that showdown MLB projections are going to matter that much is very, very, very off the wall. This really is going to be all about construction. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're probably going to play 20 lineups. Just they're paying like 20,000 for first. They know what they're doing. There's like nothing going on today. So they're rolling with this. So what we're going to think about when you're doing showdown in general is what? is getting unique, right? And it's getting unique though with lineups that have a chance. Now the good thing is that baseball, almost every lineup has a chance, pretty much. Um, so to get unique, there, what you talk about is leaving money on the table. That's usually what you talk about when it comes to getting unique in. Let me just go back to here for a second. When it comes to Showdown. So what I like to do is before I set my settings to have like max salary, what I usually like to do is just run a build with no restraints and see what I get. Because if I get like a whole bunch of lineups that leave money on the table anyway, then there's no reason to go back and then just kind of and just reset it. Okay. So first of all, I mean, let's look at. Do we have to really look at the game? I mean, okay, let's look at the game. It's the Tigers against the Angels, and Ohtani is pitching for the Angels, and Lorenzen is pitching for Detroit. Ohtani, obviously he's probably going to be the highest projected guy by like twofold, and Lorenzen, he hasn't given up a run in like quite some time, so he's probably going to be pretty solid too. And then it's going to be getting the right hitters, and that's just what it is. So the first thing I want to do is I want to run the build. And then the next thing we're going to have to talk about are the relief pitchers. And I say that because SaberSim almost always wants you to jam in some relief pitchers. And that is, by the way, a pretty good way to get unique because a good amount of these guys are going to get zeros. But if you get the one that gets, the good one inning, at 4K, they can outscore these 0 for 3 hitters at very, very low ownership. And I really love playing them. And listen, you got to just embrace the idea that you're going to have, you just got to embrace the idea that you're going to have a couple of zeros when you do it. But let's just take a look. So again, I made a little change so that DraftKings doesn't get mad. And let's build 30 lineups. Now let's just build. We'll build 30 lineups or so. All right. Setting no other settings, no minimum salary, no anything like that. And I imagine it's going to be a whole carload of Ohtani at captain, but we'll just see what it looks like. All right. Okay, so as suspected, I should look at all the captains. They give you 14 different captains. Yes, you do have 25% Ohtani, but that's not as much as you would think, right? And the reason why you get all these guys at captain at low ownership, the captain is because look at the ownerships on these guys; they're so low. I mean, you get just one good game out of any of these turkeys, it just rips the slate to pieces. So you got 14 different captains. And look at this. Well, let's make sure they're getting no captains. Like I don't need a relief pitcher captain. Although maybe I should think about it. No relief pitcher. Now they say Lorenzen's relief pitcher, but he's not. Now utility 20. How are you playing 28 players? Only like 9 per side. Well, this is what they got. They're playing. They're giving you these relievers. So let's just take a look at some of these. So first of all, not surprised you have a whole bunch of Ohtani. Okay. And the usual guys like Mustaka, Carpenter, I'm really not even interested in this. What I'm interested in is a couple of things. Number one is the salaries, and number two, the relief pitchers. So let's look at the salaries. 49.4, 48.2, 49.8, 50,000. See, we can't play that one. 50,000 with no relievers, you can't really play. 47.6, I like that one. So some of these things are good. Some of these things are pretty good. But I wonder about the relievers. Okay, where are we? So you have some with Chesan Shreve, for example, at 4K. You're getting, let's see some of these other relief pitchers we're getting. Jason Foley at 4K. You're getting, who else are you getting here? Alex Lang at 4K. And most of these Tigers, I guess. Who else? You're getting another Alex Lang. You're getting Jose Cisnero at 4K. As a matter of fact, in this one, you're getting Lang and Cisnero together at 4K. I mean, for you to get this right, you need both these guys to get in there, probably, and score and score a couple of points. Um, and then you get some of these others. Let's see who else we got. We have any others? And there's more Jason Foley. More Jason Foley. Nat Moore. Oh, Matt Moore. That's our angel that we're getting. I mean, you have projections of like 1 point. You know what I mean? But this is what you're doing. Then you have another Jose Cinzero. You have Tucker Davidson. Tucker Davidson is 10K. And then they're coming up with a world where you play Tucker Davidson coming off the bench at 10K in a lineup with Chad Wallach at captain and Shohei Ohtani not at captain. So like this is one of those that like has almost no chance to win. But I'm telling you, I am such a freaking psycho with this thing that I'm probably going to do this. I mean, this is nobody has this. I promise you that. So if somehow like Ohtani has only a pedestrian game and this Tucker Davidson character, whatever, does come in and get 2 innings, nobody is going to have him. I don't think. And then you look here, then you get, well, there's Lorenzen down there, but so I was actually expecting a few more relievers. Oh, you get Berea, but now Berea at 10K. I mean, is he actually going to possibly come off of the bench? Well, I think what I want to do is now I want to do a little bit of homework on that. Okay, so I just want to see if those guys, Berea and the other expensive ones, actually make it into the game as a reliever. All right, so let's just open both these teams up, and then we will not remove non-probables. And let's look at some of these that we were talking about here. So first of all, Berea, has he been, if he hasn't literally been in at all out of the bullpen? Well, see, here it is. He's been coming in. He's been coming in out of the bullpen. This is like almost like a sneaky elite play. You know what I mean? Like it comes in for 2 innings and at 10K gets 8 points. And then the other one, who's the other awful 10K play we talked about? Tucker Davidson. Like, did he come in off the bench somehow? Yeah. So even though he's 10K, he does possibly come off the bench in the bullpen. This is like an extremely just awful thing to do in general. 10K with like a 1 point projection. But again, like when you're looking for uniqueness, I mean, I'm just telling you right now, I'm going to do it. I'm literally going to go with the Saber Sim builds, I think, and just roll with this. So we're just going to do this. We're going to open these up, and I'm just going to literally, I mean, maybe I'll tweak something afterwards, but let's just see what we got here. So again, I saved some dummy lineups. Now again, this is definitely don't try this at home. But let's see. We're gonna roll 22 lineups for no reason. $22 lineups just for a sweat. And I'm telling you, if any of these turkeys come in and get like an inning or two. Wait, where'd it go? Where did it go? Hold on a minute. Gotta find my. So here's my entry. Where are we going to save this? Save it to just downloads, I guess. We'll save it. We'll save it as DK Showdown, and we'll upload it, and then we'll just go with it, man. Let's go. Again, don't try this at home. Now let's take a look at the exposures here and see how many of these non-starters we're going to have. I don't think it was as many as I thought. We got a Holton, we got a Foley, we got another Foley. Then we got a Lang and a Cisnero together, then a Lang, then a Foley. I guess we didn't get to those other ones. We got Jacob Webb and a Shreve. Oh, these guys we didn't get to. We didn't get to the Tucker Davidsons, it looks like. Well, why not? Oh, because we didn't. Is there any room? Is there any room to play more lineups? Want to play 7 more lineups, maybe? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not going into the smaller one because if that comes in, I'm just not going to be happy. I just want to make sure that I have the right build here. So let's just make this 22 lineups and see. Yeah. So what was it? The Foley. So we didn't get to, I guess, Berea in the first bunch, right? Yeah, I guess not. Okay. So let's go. Let's see how we do. So Mike, I will take your question. So you're saying is 49K is that a good max salary? What I would actually do is 48.9 because I think a lot of people are going to go 49. So I think you pull 48.9. I think that's actually a little bit better. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna roll with this stuff, and I don't know if I'll be around at 6, but I'm gonna try to be. And so it's gonna be a fun day because listen, it's just a couple of things we're doing, and we're off the board pretty much everywhere. That will do it. Good luck, everybody.